Hello, I'm Newton Piccone, and today I'm going to be taking you through a quick demo of the Portal CLI. I have a tutorial up on the Knowledge Center that I'm going to be walking through that you can go and recreate this demo that I'm going to be giving. So to start off, I'm going to just give you a quick view at the tutorial I'm going to be walking through here. So it's exporting and importing custom themes and system config. It's on the Knowledge Center here, and it takes you through step by step everything that I'm going to be doing here today. So step one, a prerequisite of this tutorial and of using the CLI is you need to download the toolkit onto your local computer so that you're able to run the commands of the CLI. You can do that by going to Passport Advantage and downloading it there, or you can go to the API Manager home screen or the Cloud Manager home screen and download the toolkit right from here. So you just click on this tile. It'll give you the links to download the files for either just the CLI, or you can download the full toolkit package, which includes the designer, loopback, and the CLI. And then there's a credentials file here too that you can download and run a command to essentially log you in with the proper credentials for this environment to make sure that that you have access to this CLI to use it. So I've gone ahead and downloaded that already. I have my command line open here. I can just run a quick test to make sure that it's working. Yep, there we go. There's the help screen with all of the commands that you can kind of look into for the API Connect CLI. So next thing is looking at the prerequisites for this tutorial. So in order for this tutorial to work, you need to have two catalogs created. In this case, I'm going to be using the Sandbox catalog and this test catalog I have here. And with each of these catalogs, you are going to need a portal provisioned with the URL here, and you'll have to have admin access and the admin login details to this portal so you can make customizations. You'll have to have that for each one of your portals. So when you have your two portals, here's my Sandbox portal. You'll see it just has the default custom API Connect theme attached to it. And I have one for Sandbox and I have one for test here. So I have those two portal sites up and running. I'm logged in as the admin on both of them. So following the tutorial then, the next step is to create a custom theme on my Sandbox catalog. So the way we do that is you navigate to the Manage tab right here, and then you'll go to Appearance. You'll have a drop-down menu here without clicking. You'll go to Generate a Subtheme, and it'll bring you to this page. What you'll do is you'll need to put a name in here. So in this case, I'll just put Newton theme. And you want it to be the CSS subtheme type. You can use SCSS. The different extensions are for more advanced developers who have more CSS experience than me. Then you click Generate here. We're using the default theme here. You can use any of these, but I'm going to be using the default one here. You'll see it successfully downloaded, and I have my zip file here. So what I will do is I will click that, and it will download it from the browser onto my computer. That download completed. So now I'll come to my downloads folder here, and you can see that it's there in my downloads folder. So I have a folder open here with all of the things that I'm doing for this tutorial. So what I'll do is I will grab that zip file and copy it over to this folder that I have open with all my tutorial assets. So the next step then is to unzip this file and add our custom CSS code from the tutorial into it. So So I'll double click it, which will unzip that. I'll open up that file, and in there you'll see this CSS file. We'll open that file, and you'll see the override CSS file here. So we'll open that one too, and we'll open up in your editor of choice. And in the tutorial, you'll see the custom subtheme CSS code. I have it copied right here. So just highlight that, copy it, and then paste it over into this new overrides file. Paste, and then we will save that file. So essentially what this is doing is it's just some custom CSS to change the color of the body of the home page, change the color of the header, change the color of the footer for the home page, and the text color for the footer for the navigation bar. That's all this code is doing, and we have this sample code in there on the tutorial, so you can just copy and paste it right in here. So now that that file is saved, we will come back to the my file here, and what we need to do now is re-zip. So I'm going to delete this zip file, move that to the trash, and then I'm going to re-zip this Newton theme folder so I can re-upload it into my portal. So I'll compress that. Now I have a new zip file there. So I'll come back to my portal now. And essentially what I've done is I've generated a subtheme. I've taken that subtheme file onto my local computer. I've edited that and did some overrides to the header and the footer for colors, just to show some basic customizations that you could do. And now I'm going to re-upload that onto my portal and install this new theme that I've customized now. So you'll come back into the portal, you'll go to Appearance, navigate to Install a New Theme, and then you'll have a page that looks like this. We're not installing from a URL, so we'll come to the Upload a Module, click Browse. It'll take you to navigate to where that is saved. I have it in this toolkit folder. It's the Newton theme zip file. Make sure it's a zip file that you are uploading here. Then I'll open that, and then we'll hit Install. Now it's going to be installing that new theme and getting the portal ready. All right, so it was successful on the installation. Next step, you want to click on the Enable Newly Added Themes here. And then you'll be brought to your list of enabled themes that you have. So we'll scroll all the way to the bottom here, and you'll see the Newton theme here. It's in the disabled themes. So what we want to do is click Enable and Set as Default, and that's going to make this new subtheme that we just created the default on this portal site for the sandbox. Okay, so now we see that's the default theme. So what we will do now is come back to the top here and click the Back to Site, and that will bring us back to our portal site, and you will see here now that it has this custom header with a custom name and a color. If you scroll to the bottom here, you'll see the footer is also a new color of those customization overrides that we copied into that file. So that was successful. And you can see the kind of clicking back and forth, having to download things to your computer and to make these customizations. And you can understand how replicating this customization to another portal without a CLI can be a fairly tedious task with a lot of clicking and plenty of room for human error to enter in there. So the next step in the tutorial is to add custom site config. So in this case, we're adding a new field to a new content type to the applications page. So what we'll do is we'll navigate to the structure here. The drop-down will come up without clicking. Move down to the content type, and then go to application, and then manage fields. So we're essentially changing the configuration of this applications page. So then you'll see a list of all of the labels and all of the fields that we have here. And what we'll do is we'll add a new field. And then you'll come to the add a new field, select the type. We'll go all the way to the bottom here and just do plain long text, and then we'll give it a label. In this case, in the tutorial, we call it company name. Then we will save and continue. Here, the allowed number of values. So these are the number of values you can enter into this field. For this case of this simple tutorial, we'll just leave it as 1, but you can customize this and change it to meet the needs that that customers are doing or you need for your demo. Then we'll save the field settings. Okay, now we see that the field is updated. We will save settings. Okay, and now you'll see down here we have this new field, company name, plain text, and you can edit or delete it, translate it, and do all these additional features, operations here. So in the Sandbox catalog, I can show you what we changed here. I'll navigate back to the site. I'll go into the Apps tab at the top here in my nav bar. In the Sandbox, I have a test app already created for me. So I click into that application. I will go to the Edit tab here. And then if I scroll to the bottom here, you can see the new site config field that we've added here, company name, with the long text input field here where you can go and type and enter company names or any kind of data that's needed for this application. So those are the customizations we're going to make to this portal. I did it all manually to highlight the pain and the introduction of human error. But you can see now we have the updated themes and the customizations that I've made. So the next step is to export these changes. So both the custom export both the custom theme and the new site config that we did. So this is where we're going to move into the CLI, and we're going to start using our CLI to do these changes and to export these. And then after we export both of them to our computer, we will then upload them into our new into our next portal site, which is the test site here. You can see, and you can see right now it's just the default standard API Connect theme without the application there. And what I'll do now is export from this site and then import to this site, all using the CLI in a way that could be scripted and automated out. So I have all my commands copied here, filled out with the proper server, with all the proper tags and servers and fields. So the first step is to log into the management server. So all of the commands will start with APIC. In this case, we're logging in, so we have the login command. We'll have to specify the server flag with the server URL that we have to use to log into this specific API Connect cloud. My username and password for this cloud, and then the realm. The realm is essentially the user registry that I'm using. In this case, I'm just using the default API manager local user registry, and I'm logging in as a provider org owner here. So what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste this command, put it into the command line here. Double check it, make sure everything looks right, looks good. Hit enter. And we see the login was successful. So now that we've logged in, we can move to the portal CLI command to export the custom theme that we made. So similarly, it's the same APIC command. We set the mode to portal admin, so we can access the portal CLI commands. In this case, we're doing a custom theme create and export for the Sandbox catalog, that Sandbox portal that we were customizing before. In the Newton's Line of Business 1 organization, we have the same manager server URL here, and then we're downloading it in a format JSON. We can also do a YAML file, but in this case I'm just using JSON. So I'll copy and paste this command, bring it over to the command line, Do a quick check, make sure everything looks good. Okay, and then enter. All right, so it's communicating. We're seeing some 200 response codes. The export is queued. This usually takes less than a minute to do this, but the larger files that you have, the longer it will take. You can see that it's got the response codes, the status of the task finished, and now we have our new custom theme file, tgz file here. And you'll want to copy and paste this because we will use it in our import commands. It'll be important to have this file name. So I'll just bring it into my editor here and just paste that there. All right, so now we've exported the custom theme, and now we will go to our sandbox catalog and export the site config. So this command is similar where we have the APIC, mode, portal admin. The difference here is instead of custom theme create export, we're site config creating an export, taking it from the same catalog, the same organization, the same management server, in the same form of JSON. So I'll take this command, copy it, paste it over into my command line, do a quick check, make sure everything looks good. All right, enter. It'll be similar, communicating. We see the 200 response codes. Status is queued. Again, it only takes a few minutes, but the larger files you have, the longer it will take. So now it's running the task, communicating with the management server there to pull this config off the portal site. The site config always takes a little longer. It's a slightly larger file to pull down. And there we go. We see it finished, and we created the site config file here. And it was saved to, so these files are always saved to the same directory that you're in with the CLI that you're using. So in this case, it's my toolkit folder, my toolkit directory that these are saved in. That'll be important because you'll need to navigate to them if they're downloaded to somewhere else where your toolkit is not running. But in my case, it's simple, so I don't need to navigate to the exact path of where these are. I just need the file names because it's all in the same directory. So I'll save those file names over there. Okay, so now I have made my customizations to my portal site here. I have exported them onto my local computer using the CLI. And now the next step is to import them to my second test, my test portal site. And I'll do that with the command line as well. So I'll come back to my commands here. I have my import commands here. The first one is to just make sure that you're still logged in. We have that there just for purposes of if you're moving back and forth between in the command line between the management server and maybe another server, you want to make sure that you're logged in. In this case, I'm just doing it back to back, so I'm already logged in with the CLI in this shell. So I'll skip that command, but just remember that you'll need to log back in if you are switching between tasks or if you are stopping here and coming back later. And then I'll run the import custom themes command here. You'll see it's similar syntax to what we've seen before, the mode portal admin, custom theme, create and import. This time I'm moving it to my test catalog in the same organization and on the same management server. And I'm still doing the JSON format. And then this is where I need to have the name of the file and navigate to the directory where that file is saved. So in my case, I have it in the same directory where I'm running the toolkit. So I just need to copy this file name and paste the file name here. But if it's in your downloads folder or maybe on your desktop, you'll need to navigate to the directory where that is. So I'll paste that, and then I will copy this command, bring it over here to the command line, paste it, do a quick check, make sure everything looks good. Let's go into the test, management server, JSON. Okay, enter. We're seeing it's communicating, loading the file, getting it ready to send it off. And then we are getting our response codes here. It's communicating. It's queued right now. Again, with larger files, this process takes a little longer, but the CLI will give you every, I think it's 10 seconds, gives you a ping with a message to make sure that it's still communicating, still connected, and that the tasks are still running. So this will take, it's been taking under a minute for me. Again, larger files will take longer. Just give it a minute there to complete the import. And there we go. Okay, so the CLI task import started. We saw that imported, and then we saw that the task completed successfully. So now we have taken that custom theme that we built, we've uploaded it to our new test portal. And then next we will grab our site config. Well, I can go back over here and I can show you where it's queued that up. So if I go to appearance, navigate to generate subtheme, I can show you that it's queued that up into the portal site here. If I go to list, you will see it at the bottom here, the Newton theme. So it's queued up, ready to enable and activate that on this site. Navigate back to the site now. I'll come back to the CLI, and the last step here is to import our site config. So similarly, we have our new file here, so I'll copy and paste this. Similar syntax, again, the portal admin mode, site config, create and import, going to my test catalog on my Newton's line of business 1 org and the management server here, format JSON, and then pasting the new file name for the export we just took. So paste that and then copy this command, come over to the terminal here, paste that, do a quick check, make sure everything looks good, and enter. And similarly, it's going to queue this up. Communication's happening, which is good. We're seeing 200 response codes. It's going to queue it, and then it's going to run it a couple times while it's getting this all ready. And we'll just give it a second while this is running to complete. And then we will, after this completes, we will have imported both our custom theme and the new custom site config that we saw, that we created in the applications page, the new company name field. And once it's up there, we can navigate over to the portal, and we will show the new customizations applied in the portal, just right here through the command line, instead of all that clicking, copy and pasting, and dragging in the portal GUI. So letting the computer do the work for us. All right, there we go. We see the CLI task started and it completed successfully. So now we have the site config up on the portal. We'll navigate back over here to the portal, and we will click over into apps here, make sure things are, and you'll see that it populated the new custom header we have here with the color and the Acme Bank. And at the bottom here, the footer color has changed as well. We don't have any applications in here, but so I can't show you the site config, but if you were to create an application and click into there, you'll be able to see that new site config as well. So that completes my Portal CLI demo. It was a basic example of the power of the CLI here, but again, tackling that first use case of DevOps on the portal and making sure that we can script and make the replication of these portal sites as simple as possible for our customers. And there will be more to come on the Portal CLI in our future releases. Thank you.